One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Trump, everybody they know, they gon' vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again.
Woo!
I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah. Donald Trump is now president of your country. Election is over. Everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over. Everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey, yeah. I should have put the Trump dance on. Oh, stuff is hitting. I mean, just
Breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
I really think this could be so big that you could see a bunch of Democrat operatives. You could possibly see a bunch of Democrat politicians, and you could even possibly see Kamala Harris herself going to jail. I had a certain show planned. You know, I always do my 10 other stories. I couldn't even do it. This is so big that I'm not exaggerating. We're just going to have to go with this because I cannot even fathom that this woman or whoever was orchestrating everything, whoever her puppet masters were, did they really, truly think that they would get away with a billion-dollar fraud scheme? An absolute fraud scheme. They're so worried about people putting their opponents in jail. Maybe they knew all this stuff was going to come out. I don't think they realized it was going to come out in 3 weeks. But here we are. Let's roll with what you guys have got to see.
I spoke with Lindy Lee. She's on the DNC Finance Committee. She's based here in Philadelphia. She's raised millions for Biden and for Harris. She says, look, this wasn't just a loss. This was a shellacking. The DNC is in serious chaos right now. Expect some departures. She said some staffers on the Harris campaign that she's spoken to haven't been paid. She called this whole thing a $1 billion boondoggle. And these celebrity endorsements that they paid for did nothing to move the needle. Take a listen. What is going on in the leadership in the DNC right now? Is it in turmoil? Are people leaving?
It's absolutely in turmoil. People are stepping down.
Now, she said we can expect some big-time donors leaving the DNC in the very near future. She wouldn't say exactly how many. I said, look, you're brave to speak up. Do you have any arrows coming at you? She said, not just no arrows. She said, I have high-level support from high-level Dems telling me to keep going.
And did it look bad for the vice president to go to Hawaii while DNC staffers are just wondering what they're going to do for work?
The vice president has taken time off to go spend time with her family. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think she deserves some time to be with her family and to have some downtime.
Let me just interrupt for a second. I am so glad we won't have to see much of this woman going forward. But then again, we might see her in court hearings.
She has worked very hard over the last 4 years, and her taking a couple of days to be with her family, good for her. Good for her. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Try.
Good morning. The Harris campaign remains in debt after the Harris-Walz ticket failed in November, and now Tim Walz is going to hit up wealthy Democratic donors to ask for some money to help repaying all of the vendors that they still owe and staff members that they stopped paying months before they were supposed to. We don't know yet, because we haven't seen excerpts, whether or not he plans to take account.
These people are $20 million in debt after spending $1 billion. I'm not stuttering. She spent $1 billion to lose a campaign. And she was spending money like a drunken sailor on leave. I don't know who was cutting the checks. I don't know who they were cutting them all to. But if I'm Trump and I'm seeing this, and I'm just sitting back and listening to the news, and what you're hearing is nobody's going to be able to do anything until somebody alleges a crime. And right now, you've seen the Asian woman who was talking, a bundler. She's starting to allege that there's something really wrong here. And you're going to see another donor who's like, yeah, something ain't making sense. How could you have spent $1 billion and still be $20 million in debt? How is it even mathematically possible that you could have done that? It's incredible.
Accountability for what happened in November, or if he plans to share his own roadmap for the next few years. And as Tim Walz addresses the party's elite, rank and file DNC staff are going grassroots with a GoFundMe after saying they were blindsided by being fired suddenly with no severance. They're about $16,000 towards a $25,000 goal. The organizer...
I talked about this earlier. With all the people who have money in that entire orbit, including Kamala Harris herself, you can't raise 25 grand? No wonder Trump was making fun of him. Hey, you guys want to check? You can't raise $25,000 to pay for your own debts? I know you're 20 million, but you can't pay 25,000 to help out your people. You know, one of the biggest things, you guys probably have seen the movie Bronx Tale. And in the Bronx Tale, when C starts chasing the kid across the street that he lent $20 to, and Chaz goes and says, hey, listen, let him go. You learned the hard way. Pay the $20, you'll never hear from him again. Kamala Harris, you should have cut the check for 25 grand instead of letting these people run to the street. Here's 25,000. I'll fund it all. Just shut up and go away. But no, you didn't even have the decency as the boss, you didn't have the decorum, the mindset to say, listen, I'm going to go spend $20,000-$30,000 on this lavish $7 million mansion that we're going to rent in Hawaii, and we're going to live big, me and Doug. We're going to have servants and butlers, and you can't get your people paid $25,000 that you owe them. Never. I give the garbage men a tip. I mean, the garbage guys during Christmas, they make out pretty good in our neighborhood because people meet them outside and with envelopes. And you couldn't give $25,000 to your employees?
Of this DNC union GoFundMe says, we are heartbroken to see our colleagues who dedicated countless hours to electing Democrats up and down the ballot depart under these circumstances, and we are furious with DNC leadership for failing to provide severance to those affected.
Hey, Peter, got a quick question for you. Given the fact that the Democrats had an epic loss in the race for that building behind you, the DNC union people didn't see layoffs coming where they were going to get 1 day's notice?
Doesn't sound like it, no. And they are about $16,000 of a $25,000 goal. It doesn't seem like they're that people who donated a lot of money for months, even just $10, $15 at a time on those recurring payments that you get the text messages about constantly in an election season, it doesn't seem like there's much of an appetite for people to open their wallets again for that.
Remember earlier in my 3:30 show, and Whoopi was lamenting, we don't get a rebate? No refunds. All of you who gave to the office, gave to Kamala Harris, you got robbed. And any single one of these people who stroked the check, I guess maybe over 1,000 could be considered a felony. Now know. And what I'm going to show you tonight, it makes it even worse. You can actually now allege there was a criminal conspiracy to rip these people off. Not just, hey, listen, you donated to a campaign, we lost, didn't work out, sorry. Everybody goes home with their head down and realizes, yeah, that could happen. That could actually happen. But what I'm going to show you tonight, you're going to see, as I'm sure a court is going to see, you lied to your donors. You committed wire fraud. You committed mail fraud, allegedly, to make sure I don't get sued here. But I don't think it's going to be much of a stretch for somebody, Pam Bondi, to find out that these people created felony after felony after felony. Somebody's going to talk. All these people ain't going to go to jail. And now these people that she owes money to, who didn't realize for some reason that they would be fired on November 6th. I don't know what they thought. If you won, I guess you'd still have a job after you lost. What did you think was going to happen? Oh, I know. Maybe she'd come in and bonus us out, make sure that we're taken care of. But no, she hit the first flight to Hawaii. I'm out. I'm done. I lost. Whatever.
Or for the Harris campaign that now needs Tim Walz to go out and ask for help.
You know, how many people were fired? I know it was 2/3. Do we know the exact number? Because I feel like $25,000 to help people pay their rents and their bills is not that much if it's hundreds of people.
If you got to split it.
They're saying that the $25,000 is temporary because they still think they're going to be able to get some kind of money out of the DNC or some kind of unemployment assistance. And so...
Wait. You could go and work on a campaign for a couple months and get unemployment? No. Turn them all down. This was theft in an epic scale. Man, and they expect you and me to pay for this? I mean, if these people all get unemployment, that's coming. You're paying it. This is really, really bad. As we go forward here, you're going to really see they were bamboozled. They were completely hoodwinked. The way she acted, we had to have known that something wasn't right. I didn't know it was this bad.
Temporary. They had a protest at Union Station yesterday. It was pretty small.
First of all, stop sending me emails asking for money for the Harris-Walz campaign. You spent $1.5 billion in a few months.
I didn't know it was that much. He said $1.5 billion. So he's saying $1.5 billion is what they brought in and spent. Let that sink in. There were people up in North Carolina during the middle of this campaign whose houses got washed away, who you couldn't even bother to go see, who your FEMA department as a vice president couldn't get these people temporary housing, couldn't get them aid. You offered them $750 as a loan, and then turned some people down and said, yeah, you don't qualify. But make sure the other ones pay that $750 back. But meanwhile, you're spending $1.5 billion on this complete fraud. Wow.
I mean, did somebody steal it? I've never heard of anything like this. And you're in debt, like $20 million. Nearly $500 million on advertising. But it's these other things we're learning. Giving Oprah $1 million for the production company, 6 figures to build a pod.
Look at this. Look at this. $15 million in event production, including concerts. So you're telling me that Bon Jovi, yeah, Bruce, Beyonce for 2.5 minutes, $15 million? That wasn't even concert production. He came out with one guitar, an acoustic guitar. And you spent $15 million on that? They saw you coming. And then you spent $1 million on Oprah's company. Then you had 6 figures to build a fake podcast set. And then you're flying all over the country in private jets. Everybody gets a jet. $5 million. And then you spent, okay, and here's the big one. $494 million on advertising. So I'm going to give you a quick little background on advertising, since I've worked as an advertising agency, in an advertising agency for a long time. Now you know why MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, now you know why all of them were licking her boots. Because if you spent $500 million on advertising, that means you were stroking checks in the neighborhood of $20, $25 million at a time to these networks. That means you bought those networks. You're complaining about Elon Musk, and you're spending every single spare dime on these networks. Do you think anybody at MSNBC would dare say anything negative about what she was doing, given the amount of money she was spending on them? She was buying their complicity. She was buying the complicity of every single one of these networks. You're not going to cut the gravy train. You're not going to talk bad against the family. How much she paying us? How much? $20 million? Man, she's the prettiest black woman I ever seen. I would say $25, $30, $40 million probably a week on some of these stations. It's going to come out. It is going to come out. And the bosses of these stations said, you say nothing bad about this woman. I'm pretty sure she spent a good amount of money on my channel. I remember looking in the chat and people like, I keep seeing Kamala Harris ads in here. Thank you. And as I would watch the chat and people like, I can't believe Kamala Harris ads came up on your stream. And I wanted to whisper, click, please. But that's against the law. I can't encourage you to click. But I was like, let it run. If her people are that stupid, let it run. Continue. Keep spending money on my channel. Thank you. Oh, man. Here's another little insight about advertising. When you come up with a campaign and you pitch it to the client and you say, hey, listen, here's what we have. We're going to help you get these ads together, and it's going to cost you $20 million a month, a week, whatever. If you lose, like she did, or you don't get any sales, like many people don't get, there's no refunds. That's just it. You spent $20 million. Our job was to buy air. When you wanted the commercial to run at 1:05 p.m., boom. My job is to nothing but insert that commercial in that slot at that time. Those of you who watch my channel, you know Lear Capital is a big supporter of this channel. And I insert their commercial with me reading at certain times in certain videos. They're not going to tell her, hey, nobody's watching. They're clicking away. They don't want to see it. And the people, and this is something that will come out, the people who bought the ads were taking 15 to 20% off the top. Let that sink in. Let me just show you.
Cast set for some.
So, if she spent $500 million on advertising, 500, we'll just round it up. Can we round it up? Yeah. That means whoever was placing those ads put about 10 million, 20%, put about 100 million in their pockets. 10% would be 50. 20% is 100. Somebody's agency put $100 million or so in their account. You see, when you're the ad agency, you're the one who's going to talk to MSNBC. And you tell MSNBC, hey, listen, I've got a client who wants to run these ads. Cool. How much is it going to cost? Well, they gross it up. So if you're spending $500 million on the ads, I make 20% just for being the person who called MSNBC and inserted the ad. My company would have made $100 million. Maybe they cut her a discount and they're only going to make $60 million. Maybe they only charge 15%. That would be $75 million. So what you need to find out here, who was the ad agency that was working on her behalf, placing the ads, and who owns that ad agency? Because whoever owned that ad agency was taking that money, taking their commission off the top, and just laughing at her. I mean, just like, what a friggin' idiot. That's how advertising works. Maybe the size of her account, they were only gigging her for 10%. And if they were gigging her for 10%, that's still $50 million went in somebody's pocket. I want you to understand that. A $500 million advertising buy placed by an agency is going to be anywhere between 15 and 20%. And if you discount the person because you want their business, maybe you took 10%. If you took 10%, you put $50 million in your pocket. That's how it works. And so everybody associated with this wasn't going to tell her a thing. How much are we making? $50 million. Oh, these ads look great, Kamala. Oh, they look fantastic. Are people loving them? Oh, they're loving them. Let me give you this report. Oh, yeah, it looks fantastic. MSNBC, what are we looking at? People looking at, oh, yeah, here at the 11 o'clock hour, they looked on Joy Reid. Joy Reid really talked really well about you, so we ran. Fraud.
Buddy, where was that offer for the Chris Cuomo project, by the way? Now we're hearing the party can't pay people who work for them, that they didn't get paid for weeks. We had a truth teller on this show, Lindy Lee, member of the DNC Finance Committee. Listen to her.
We are going to keep losing if we don't have a financial accountability and some sort of very serious accounting of how exactly we spent $1 billion.
Who's going to give that to you, honey? Because I'm pretty sure everyone else, especially the people who spent it, pocketed that money and they're off to the Caymans.
Millions were spent on celebrities, ice cream, private jets. $2.5 million was spent on Oprah. A lot of senior staff were summarily fired or told that they wouldn't be receiving any pay last week. And now we see basically massive layoffs.
And the money started pouring in. Remember this, Chris. It wasn't pouring in for Harris. It was pouring in against Trump. Everybody that was voting and supporting Harris was really voting.
I got to make a full disclosure. That's John Morgan from the law firm Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is probably the biggest personal injury attorney group in the country, and at some time they've been a sponsor here of my show. But this is Morgan & Morgan. This is John Morgan talking about his money.
Against Trump, and everybody was voting for Trump was voting for Trump. So she had all this money coming in. She had all these consultants, and if you don't run the ads, you don't get paid for the buy. They were running ads in Florida, where I live, nonstop. And I'm like, why? I mean, are they running them in Alabama and Idaho too? And I'll tell you why. If you don't run the ads, the buyer doesn't get paid.
Okay, so what he's saying there is you don't run ads in areas that you know you can't win. Florida, solid red. Alabama, solid red. Mississippi, solid red. So you know those aren't swing states. Don't bother spending money there. You're not competitive. You're never going to win. Except, as John is saying here, the people who place the ads don't get paid unless they spend the money. Advertising is quite the racket. The people placing the ads only get paid if they spend your money. Their entirety of their position, the entirety of their job is to get the commission. And some people also make money on the production. They create the ads, they film it, they edit it, all that stuff. But in terms of placing the ads, you don't get paid if you don't spend the money. It's such a weird compensation business. Hey, listen, so it doesn't behoove me at all to look out for your best interest, because your best interest doesn't coincide with mine. I could give a shit whether you get elected. I need to spend this money, because if I spend this money, I'm making 15, 20%, or 10%, regardless of the outcome. It doesn't matter. And so John Morgan sitting here, who places a crap load of advertising. I mean, you for the people. He's everywhere. He understands advertising down to the T. He understands that you don't get paid if you don't place the ad.
$900,000 to put her face on the Sphere in Las Vegas. In the Sphere, the ego, the crazy, the commissions. I was at the White House for a dinner Friday night, talking to a lot of people, and I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of whispering. There's a lot of names about who got paid this, who got paid that. And a lot of people got rich on the back of donors trying to stop Trump. And I think this disqualifies her forever. If you can't run a campaign, you can't run America. And that would be the argument just day one. So it was terrible. I think she did a good job in the debate. I think she did as good a job as she could hope for in a short period of time. I told everybody, she should not have been the nominee. She was not going to win, and she didn't win, and she lost badly. So she's got to go figure out her life. She's in Hawaii. Tim Walz was at the dinner. She was in Hawaii. So she's having a call with donors this week. They tell me about her political future. I don't think she has a political future. So that's my thought on her.
How bad is this for the party going forward?
It's terrible, because when you don't trust, it's like Andrew Gillum down here in Florida. He lost by just a little bit.
Thank God. Thank God Ron DeSantis beat him. But this is important what he's about to say here.
Mm-hmm. But the money was, to DeSantis, just a little bit. But the money was so squandered and kept that, and he was going to take all that money he kept and rebuild the party. The Republicans got 1 million more voters now. What happened in Florida is with Gillum is the same thing is going to follow Harris for the rest of her career. She cannot be trusted with the money.
What is your take?
So imagine that right now. She cannot be trusted. That's got to be, as I said earlier, we were talking about trust issues for something else. Now you're talking about a politician who cannot be trusted. But it's not just there. It is the entire party. It is the media. Everything that happened was a complete, utter lie. Wait till you see some of this stuff that's coming out tonight. Liars. It's breaking 911. Senior aides to Kamala Harris have told the Huffington Post, because now people are starting to talk. Just like John Morgan said, now they're chirping. Senior aides have told the Huffington Post in an interview that internal polling never showed her ahead of Trump. Basically, they ran a $1 billion campaign based on a lie. Let that sink in. They knew she was going to lose. It wasn't like there was a question here. I remember, I should run a campaign because I told y'all it was going to be a landslide because it was just simple math. I looked at it. Well, obviously her team did too and said, you can't win. What? You can't win. They knew it all along. But they kept raising money and spending money like drunken sailors, knowing full well you could not win. I think they call that fraud. And people are starting to realize it. Here's the Rasmussen reports, and they're talking about, we knew it all the time. Plouffe said the campaign's internal polling never had her ahead of Trump. You mean internally? It looked something like this. And yeah, I used to pull this up when we were doing things, and I would show you. Never. Week after week after week. Kamala Harris's campaign aides suggest the campaign was doomed. Plouffe said the internal polling never had her ahead of Trump. Hey, can you lend me some money? Yeah. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to go do something, and I hope to make this kind of money back. Okay, so I get a percentage of it, yeah. But you never even planned on making any money. You lied to me at the outset and continued to lie to me week after week after week. You were never ahead. The internal numbers said the exact same thing that the public numbers said. Everybody knew you couldn't win. They all kept quiet and just kept taking the money. That is pure on fraud. Everybody out there is talking about it now. Byron York from the Washington Examiner. Wow, what can you say at this point? You can't say much of anything. I would not want to be associated with this campaign with Trump taking over in January 20th. It's all over. Breaking. Kamala Harris campaign internal polls never had her leading Donald Trump. Senior advisor David Plouffe. We were hopeful. I don't know how optimistic we were, but we thought, okay, this is tied, and if a couple things break our way, we could win. If you had said that to an investor, a donor, hey, listen, I'm not sure, maybe if things happen, if Trump gets arrested again for his 19th time, yeah, we could win. Other than that, no, it ain't going to happen. Said nobody to any investor any time. Nick Sorter says, just in, Kamala Harris's internal polling never showed her leading President Trump. Aides tell HuffPo. The entire campaign was a total lie. Democrats were relying on fraud, but we made it too big to rig. I'm stunned. So why did all the media polls have her winning so big? That's the more collusion. All these pollsters, including the chick in Iowa who decided to leave town, had Kamala winning. Oh, she's way ahead. Oh, she's about 4 points ahead right now. Oh, Kamala's winning. Kamala's winning. Oh, looks like Kamala is ahead. Every single newscaster, every single host on every single network was like, oh, looks like it's even. Looks like Kamala may have pulled ahead. And it was all a lie. All of it. Every bit of it was a lie. And meanwhile, they're stuffing bags with cash. 1.5 billion is what Chris Cuomo said. 1.5 billion. Just let that sink in. And she didn't even have the decency to go to the donor dinner. She took off and went to Hawaii. unflipping believable. I don't even know what to say at this point. I got more to show you. Let me take a few of your comments right now because this is amazing. Harris looks better with that orange jumpsuit on in prison. A lot of collusion in Iowa. That woman, she bailed so fast it wasn't even funny. She's like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm retiring after I made that phony poll. How about that other guy, the guy who got embarrassed on all these different shows, the funny-looking dude with the funny haircut who said, my polls are always right. I picked the same person for 20 years. They were all getting paid. No doubt when they start the forensics, they're going to find out every single one of these people were getting paid. It stood to be the biggest fraud on America ever. Ever. And they couldn't manufacture a win, so now they're all sitting going, oh man, what do we do? What do we do? This is all going to come out now. What do we do? Interesting. When you think about it, all of this came out because David Plouffe decided to do an interview with Huffington Post. Why would he have been out there running his mouth? Why would he have gone out and said, hey, Huffington Post, yeah, we were never ahead? Who are you throwing under the bus here, bro? There's a reason why you went out there and told everybody it was a fraud. You know that video I did yesterday when it said the walls are closing in, the walls are closing in? This is what happens when the walls truly do close in. These people aren't made for this. They're not wartime consigliaries. They are looking to find the way out of jail, and right now David Plouffe went and sang his ass off to the Huffington Post, and he put all these people in peril. You know, they're fine right now because there's no way Merrick Garland's going to look into this. No, it's holiday season. No, I'm done. But Pam Bondi gets in there. She's the new Attorney General. Or Matt Gaetz is a special counsel. Oh, this would be an awesome case for Matt Gaetz to sink his teeth into and find out where this money went. All it's going to take is one of these donors. One single donor to go, I feel like I've been defrauded. I'd like to talk to somebody. And then the whole house of cards will fold. Absolutely. The walls are crumbling. Nothing to shield their crimes. Nope. Somebody's going to have to explain where this money went. And they're going to have to explain it pretty quick, actually, because there's no place to go. And if you remember, which I'm pretty sure you do, all of this stuff where Judge Merchan is. Oh, by the way, remember his daughter got like $90 million? How did his daughter get $90 million from donors? Where'd that money go? But what I was going to say is, remember that entire case up in New York. If you can dial back to March and April, if you can dial back to there and just remember, the entirety of that case was an election campaign issue, where they tried to say that Stormy Daniels and the money and the hush money and everything else was a illegal campaign contribution. And if you remember that, it was $130,000. So if somehow him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels in the amount of $100 and something thousand and getting Michael Cohen to go ahead and cut the check for $130,000, and you were going to convict this man of 34 felonies, you wanted to put him in jail for the rest of his life, what are you going to do when somebody brings in a case for $1.5 billion? $1.5 billion. Not $130,000 to hush money to Stormy or Karen McDougal. $1.5 billion. All these people are going to rot. Bon Jovi's going to be wanted, dead or alive. Oh, yeah. Oh, you knew, man. How much did you get? Beyonce, $2 million. 2 million? Seriously? I can't even imagine what these people are going to have to do when they find out that you're all roped into this at this point. You're going to have to basically sing for your lives at this point. Somebody's going to come knocking. Lawyer up. Preserve your documents. It's coming. You put this man, or try to put this man in jail for $130,000 for something that happened way long time ago that nobody was there. Decades. And you tried to bring that to the forefront like that was something huge. And every single news channel, oh my God, it's hush money, it's hush money, hush money. What are you going to say now when it's 1.5 billion? Billion with a B. Billion. Get your popcorn. Get your freaking popcorn. It's going to be epic. The walls are indeed crumbling. In fact, I don't even know how they're going to hide anymore. I'm going to let you listen to Mark Halpern here.
What is your take on what the lessons are for the Democrats?
Well, I think there's some idiosyncratic things. Joe Biden should never have run. He really shouldn't have run in 2020, but he certainly shouldn't have run for re-election. And she shouldn't have run. When Joe Biden called her and said, I'm not going to run, maybe, she should have said, you know what, I'm not going to run either, because I can evaluate my capacity to beat Donald Trump in 100 days, and I'm not the right person. There may not be someone better, but I know it's not me.
Why? Why should she have thought that?
Well, not because she's a woman, and not because she's not white, and not because she shouldn't be ambitious, because she should know herself as well as I do in terms of knowing her. And I don't know her all that well. I've known her a long time. She's not good at making difficult choices under pressure.
I love this postmortem. I love the autopsy that now everybody's looking for a safety net. They all want the raft. Everybody's like, wait a second. I told her, hey, you're not that good. If I were you, I wouldn't have ran. You're saying this now, at the end of November. Where you been? Why didn't you vocalize all this stuff in advance? Now everybody's looking for that safe harbor. How do I save my ass at this point? My credibility.
That is the job description of president and presidential candidate. And she should have said, this is going to require a lot of very difficult decisions about how to talk about the Biden-Harris record. The biggest vulnerability Joe Biden had, besides his loss of acuity and his age, was our failed record. Anyone else isn't going to have to defend the Biden-Harris record. Maybe Pete Buttigieg would a little, but not the same way. And she should have said to herself, I think, I'm not good at making difficult choices under pressure. And trying to figure out how to explain why the country should vote for me as part of an administration where they think the country's on the wrong track is going to require making a lot of difficult decisions under pressure. And I shouldn't do it. That's what I think she should have done. So those are two lessons. He shouldn't have run and she shouldn't have run. I think
Did you tell the donors that? I mean, all the donors who are like giving up $1 billion, did you tell them? Were they able to discern from everything that you just said that perhaps neither she nor he should have run? I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to be any of these people, and it's only going to get worse. Luke says she's not good at anything. Harris was never qualified. Nope. Obama, Clinton, and Pelosi in hiding. You better watch out for Hillary. Hillary might have some people to disappear from. Or make disappear, rather. They're drilling holes in the boat to let the water out. This woman, they're going to throw her over. I'm pretty sure they're going to come for her. If she spent $1.5 billion on this short race, how much do you think they spent of our money over the last 3.5 years? Yeah. Somebody goes, I never saw an ad either. Yeah, she really didn't care about our country at all. Nope. We're going to find out. There's no way, they defrauded the donors. There's no way this just goes away. I can't imagine if it's $1.5 billion, how many people wrote 6-figure checks? How many people wrote 5-figure checks? I don't care how much money you have. The one thing I know about rich people is you don't want to screw them. You could have just said, hey, I'm going to do my best. I'm not sure if I could win this. And if they cut you a check, then it's on them. But if you told them, I think we can win. We're ahead right now. All the polls say we're ahead. It's looking really good. Really? Really? You have done something here that I think is an epic fraud. I didn't cut her any checks, but I'm pretty sure at this point there's a lot of people doubting what they did, why they did it, and somebody's going to have to answer for this. There's no way around it. Act Blue stole most of the money. It's possible. Act Blue. And this is one of the reasons why I've been saying this, Pat, in terms I don't see how the Dems recover from this. No. I mean, how do you? Because in order to continue running, you need more and more money coming in. Obama, done. There's no way that you can get him to be a big figurehead anymore. George Clooney, no, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out of politics. Ellen DeGeneres, she's out of here. You screwed everybody. And everybody wakes up now and going, what do you mean she got blasted? What do you mean she got landslided? And then when you start digging, whether it's Pam Bondi, Matt Gaetz, or whoever, and they start digging, and the federal crimes that got committed, they're not going to be able to get away from. Did you send the money as a wire transfer? Did you do it online? Did you mail it? Whatever you did. What are the conversations you had? You know people have tapes of all these conversations. Yeah, every one of these rich people, they tape the phone calls. John Morgan, who you just heard, that man ain't stupid. I'm going to give you a couple $1 million. I'm going to make sure that I'm protected. And I'm telling you right now, this man is a huge attorney. And there's no way he's going to put his law firm on the line for anybody. It's a cash cow. He makes so much money. And if they come to him, he's going to tell them what happened. Won't even think twice. Hey, ask me any question you want. Yes, I sent the money. I wired it. I did this. I did that. Here's what they sent me. Here's the emails. Like Chris Cuomo said, lose my freaking email. Don't send me any more emails. That alone, that could be wire fraud. I mean, this could be one of the biggest investigations ever. And so David Plouffe, who they were talking about, who's the one who basically dropped dime and went to the Huffington Post. David Plouffe used to work for Obama. This is him. This is the guy who did it.
Well, like any organization, that's got the resources in the private sector, or in this case in politics, you make as many decisions as you can based on data by the marketplace. Okay? So, turnout was up in Milwaukee, was down a little bit in Philadelphia and Detroit. But, we'd spent a lot of time with voters who we were concerned weren't going to vote. And the fact that Liz Cheney was supporting Kamala Harris was not an issue raised by any of them, okay? So I'd say a couple of things. We were in a challenging political environment where to get to 50% of the vote in enough states to win 270 electoral votes, we needed some percentage of Republicans. But I think what people forget is it's more the independents who act like Republicans, where issues of democracy, of how unhinged he is, Project 2025 mattered to them, even to some conservative Democrats. Also, when you're being attacked as being a crazy out-of-touch California liberal, when you have generals and former Republican elected officials saying, I'm for Kamala Harris, that helps rebut that. In many respects, that'll be more effective than what she would say herself. And then as it relates to the comments about, wanting generals like Hitler, that bothered voters, okay?
If you knew it bothered voters up until the last week of the campaign, you remember, she walked out and they asked her, do you still believe that he's a fascist and blah, blah, blah? Yes. Okay. So if you knew, I'm going to play lawyer here. If you knew that voters were upset that that strategy was being deployed, why did you have her keep saying it? Doesn't make any sense. You just said, yeah, people didn't like that strategy. It was losing us voters, but you kept saying it.
This is something that concerned them about, okay, he seems like he's lost a step. He seems a little more unhinged, unstable. The people who worked for him last time are warning us, and now he says something like this. So, yeah, we could have decided to ignore that and just say, let's talk about tax cuts today. I don't think that would have advanced the ball with the people we needed to advance it with. And again, I just want to, again, it can sound like making excuses. This political environment.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like you're making excuses, but there's no doubt.
Environment sucked, okay? We were dealing with ferocious headwinds. And I think people's instinct was to give the Republicans and even Donald Trump another chance. So we had a complicated puzzle to put together here in terms of the voters. And it was going to take a little bit more independent Republicans than we saw in 20, maybe 1% more Republican voters for us. It was going to take voters saying, even though I judged Trump's first term favorably, I'm more concerned about him this time. We had to get more voters to say that. So, you know, and if you look at how we
when did you realize that? You see, the more this interview goes on and how he's talking, he's digging himself a hole that I don't think he can get out of. Because at this point, you knew, you're saying, hey, when we needed to do this, we were in trouble. We couldn't find a way out here. Okay. You didn't tell me that when you took my money.
Closed. I think we did one day with Liz Cheney in the last couple of weeks. You look at the ads we ran, they were heavily centered on the economy, on tax cuts, on Trump being for the wealthy. So this notion that somehow we weren't focused on the economy, that was the driving motivation and message in our campaign. The closing speech, yes, it took place at the Ellipse, was a huge contrast on the economy and the people Donald Trump would fight for and the people Kamala Harris would fight for. So I think that mistakes, I think my concern about that is just, again, we have to understand that what happened in this election and what didn't. And, I think at the end of the day, we had to raise people's concern and the threat level of a Trump second term.
So you felt that it was necessary, in order for her to win, you had to raise a threat level. Understand what he just said? He just said we lied to the American people by saying he was Adolf and that he was Mussolini and everybody else was garbage. So you lied to everybody. You absolutely got up there as a strategic point, thought it was good to tell Kamala Harris, just tell everybody he's a brown shirt or something.
I think if you look at our internal data, and Quentin can speak to this, we did a lot of that. We just didn't get it to the extent that we needed to win. But at the end of the day, I think people, it was the price of eggs that drove a lot of the debate here. And I think Trump's going to be.
How was that a surprise? Trump ran on it the entire time of his campaign. Remember, eggs, groceries, rent, mortgage payments, over and over. The economy, over and over and over. And now, and now you're like, well, yeah, it was the economy. That's what it was.
In hot water because he's going to do a lot of stuff starting January 20th. That's not going to be about the price of eggs. It's going to be about sort of the MAGA ideological pursuits that he and his base will insist happen, whether that's pardoning January 6th rioters or some of the other things around healthcare and immigration. So, but I think Dan.
Trump is going to focus on MAGA ideology. You mean the things that pretty much got him elected? Of course he's going to focus on that stuff. What you're hearing is and this was today, what you're hearing is somebody who still doesn't understand anything about Trump and Trump supporters. He can't even fathom that people support Trump So much so that their strategy was to make it sound like he was a threat. So when you saw 100,000 people in New Jersey, when you saw these 50 and 60, 70,000 person rallies, did it look like it to you that people were afraid of Trump? That they looked at him as a threat? Talk about a miscalculation.
That it is important. We spent a lot of time with voters in the aftermath of those comments from Milley and about, desiring generals like Hitler, and it bothered voters. So again, that wasn't the core of our campaign. The core of our campaign was an economic contrast in these battleground states, but it was an important element of it.
Teray, you've done...
This is getting bad. So I didn't know yet earlier when I cut this piece on Joy Reid, I didn't know that she had some people on who were talking about this. And now it seems like everybody is beginning to learn how to swim backwards. They don't want no parts of this now. After you took 1.5 billion, or rather 500 million in advertising, now the rats are like, hey, I don't know nothing about this. This doesn't make no sense.
Reporting on kind of the internal dynamics of the Harris campaign, and you want to talk about something that I really want to get into, and that is the consultants. Talk about the consultant factor in this election.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why Kamala lost. One of them that when I spoke to elite Democratic people, and they kept bringing up the name Jen O'Malley Dillon.
All right. Jen O'Malley Dillon, he's about to tell you who she is. But she was if David Plouffe, the guy you just heard, if he was the architect, then O'Malley was basically the builder. He gave her the plan, and then she went out and executed and tried to build the campaign. And so the two of them both came from the Obama-Biden days, and here's what they were going to do and try to manufacture things with this fake Manchurian candidate. And it didn't work. But now, even Joy Reid, even slimy, disinformation Joy Reid is starting to give some side-eye to this whole thing. If you've lost Joy Reid, then at this point, people are backing off and like, I don't want nothing to do with this. No.
Jen was the campaign chair for Kamala Harris, and she had been hired to do that for Biden. So this is a Biden person, a Biden loyalist, who in 2023 was leaking to media that Kamala should be replaced on the ticket, right?
So when Dementia Joe was running, she was working for Dementia Joe. And she started leaking to newspapers that we need to get rid of Kamala. Let that sink in. Okay, so while she's the vice president under Dementia Joe, the people running Dementia Joe's campaign have said, this woman's dead weight. We need to cut bait with her. Let's start talking to the New York Times and these different people and let them know she's dead weight. So maybe we'll be able to cut bait from her. Like, hey, you're done. So the same person that was trying to size up how deep they could put the knife in your back, some puppet master said, okay, now that we're going to go with Kamala, run her campaign too. And you're telling me Kamala Harris was so stupid that she brought on somebody who just a few weeks beforehand was sticking a knife in her back and trying to shiver. You can't make this, I can't make it make sense. There's no way you can make it make sense. Why would you bring on somebody doesn't want you around and is actively trying to put the knife in your back? Why would you do that? Well, because you were told to. That's the only reason. The only reason somebody came forward and said, go work on Kamala's campaign. He's like, she don't have a chance. I didn't ask you that. Go work. If I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. Go do this. And Kamala probably said the same thing. I don't want her associated with me. We ain't asking you. Get out there and do what you're supposed to do. There's no other way. That had to be how it came down. If you know specifically somebody is trying to do you in. Those of you who worked in corporate offices, you knew who the snakes were. And there's no way you would have brought that snake into your inner circle and said, oh, well, you know the poem that Trump always read. You knew I was a snake before you even brought me in. Maybe he wasn't talking about immigration. Maybe he knew that the entirety of her campaign was nothing but a puppet surrounded and wrapped like a cobra in a snake. Something doesn't make any sense. There is no way I would want to go to battle and spend $1 billion with somebody I know just a few weeks beforehand was trying to stick the knife in my back. You could ask yourself that question, would you? Of course not.
The reporting that I have on my Substack. So this is the person you have to go to battle with, who a year earlier was whispering to reporters saying, maybe you should be replaced. And part of the thing with Jen, too, when you talk about the consulting class, that she has an ad buying company. So when she's advising the candidate saying you should buy ads, that is personally enriching to her.
You hear that? Oh, somebody's going to jail. So wait a second. Out of that $500 million I was telling you about that somebody pocketed between 50 and 100, it was the person who was sticking the knife in her back. Like I said, you can't make this up. So Jen O'Malley said, oh, she's not dead. Let me just take as much money from her as I possibly can. I'll go ahead and place the ads. Go raise money. I'll place the ads. I'll have $100 million, $60 million cushion after I'm done sticking the knife in this pin cushion thing here called Kamala. And these people in the media knew it. This wasn't a surprise. Everybody knew it. They knew where the checks were being cut. He knew a year ago that she was running the ads. These people are so, I mean, just as I'm laying this out for you and you're probably looking at it going, what the hey? Yeah. And you're not even a prosecutor who can dig into this and it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Now, that doesn't mean that she's doing anything nefarious, right? She seems to have done her job as best as she could. But when a hammer sees everything as a nail, and when you personally are enriched by ad buys, then you're going to recommend that to the candidate, as opposed to Donald Trump got a lot out of being on podcasts.
I run an ad agency. You got $1 billion. You're going to buy some ads. And then when I come to it, go, well, this dude's talking to Joe Rogan and people. He's not even spending any money. And he's kicking my ass. Why are we spending all this money? Don't worry about it. You're good. Well, Joe Rogan emailed me and called and said he'd like to have me on. Oh, no, we're not going to have you go on there. We're just going to, build a set and have you talk to Oprah. But Oprah doesn't have an audience anymore. We're going to bring in Beyonce and some other people. Okay. So, as you're listening to this, you can hear that they're questioning it now, after the fact. You're seeing rats jumping off here. Hey, didn't make any sense to me. I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to be Hillaried. But now, since it's coming out and everyone's looking at the postmortem and understanding here, ooh, man, this don't look good at all, does it?
Right? And we don't feel like Kamala took it.
So I think personally we're in
okay. That's something else we'll talk about if we have time. But now you guys see specifically what's been going on. So now it gets worse. Barry, like, how much worse can it be? Somebody decides they're going to call Kamala and tell her, hey, things don't look well. You've got people complaining. They're screaming. They're not getting paid. They can't raise $25,000. They can't do it. They can't. What are we going to do with these people? And you're over in Hawaii acting like a rock star. $7 million villa. spending it up with, $1,500 a night with Dougie Boy, with butlers. You need to get your butt back here and do a mea culpa and let everybody know it's going to be okay. So I don't know where she is, but they called her back and said, give this speech. Let everybody know that everything is okay. You're not going to believe this.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Back at you, brother. You are such an extraordinary leader, and we have become lifelong friends. I just, in front of everyone, I want to thank you, Tim. You lead with courage. You lead with heart. You see the people. You care about the people. You believe in uplifting the dignity to which all people are entitled, and you do it and you have a sense of fun when you're doing it. But you are an extraordinary leader, and obviously the people of Minnesota are very, very lucky to have you there, but you are a national leader and a dear friend, and thank you. Noel, thank you for your work in Pennsylvania and all that you did for our campaign. And let me just say to everyone on this call, I am so grateful for you, and I'm so thankful to you. I'm thankful for your love of our country and your willingness to put the work into it. I'm thankful for the faith that you put in me and Governor Walz and our...
Now understand. You've been beaten badly. You've brought in $1 million, $1 billion from all these people. You don't bother to show up at the event that she sent this video in for. I'm just going to mail it in. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to face the donors. I'm just going to call, let them see me. You guys watch at the end of football games, and the reporters always walk up, hey, how did, I thought we could do it, and it was 3rd and 1, and we decided to go for it, blah, blah, blah. There's never a teleprompter. You see, there's nothing authentic about this woman. She can't even do a postmortem. You don't have to be reading, hey, Tim, how you doing? Really, hey, thanks, man. You were a great running mate, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Nikki, hey, Joe, hey, whatever. And you guys could do it if you felt it, if you cared. You could make up a 9-minute speech talking to people about what happened. Not her.
Team. And I am thankful because I know your character is such that you're not going to get knocked down. And you're in this fight. And you're in it for all the right reasons. And I know that about you. It's why you're part of this call right now and all the work that you did over those 107 days and even before. That's your nature. And
what fight is she talking about? You just got whooped. What fight are you? They're still in it. Still in what?
And the outcome of this election obviously is not what we wanted. It is not what we worked so hard for. But I am proud of the race we ran. And your role in this was critical. What we did in 107 days was unprecedented. Think about the coalition that we built, and we were so intentional about that. You would hear me talk about it all the time. Being a daughter of parents who are active in the civil rights movement, I know and believe that the best movements that are about progress in our country mean that it's leaders that we are dead.
Right now, everyone who is at this meeting or whatever, they got one question. One question. I'm sure you have the same question. When are we getting paid, yo? Where's my money? My money. I don't need the kindergarten teacher speech here. I just need to know, hey, thank you guys for working. And right now there's somebody coming up the back row with envelopes with cash in it or a check. What am I hearing this for? I don't need to hear it if I'm working for her or if I was part of her campaign. What are you rah-rahing me about? It's over. We got butt munched. We're done. There's nothing else happening. There is no Democrat Party at this point. There's no media. It's over. So what the hell are you saying? Where's my money?
Dedicated to the coalition, to bringing people together that seemingly have nothing in common, but have everything in common. A coalition where we bring people together based on a deep love of our country and our understanding that the strength of our country will be a function of our willingness to put in the work, and that we will do that work with a sense of joy, yes, with a sense of work ethic and understanding.
She's drunk, isn't she? I mean, seriously. She's drunk. Just look at her. There's no way. She's starting to slur her words. And I don't know where this is. Maybe it's in a hotel in Hawaii. I don't know. But it doesn't make any sense.
And it's going to be hard, but it's good work. It's good work to be engaged in a collective fight for America's future. And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors. You said, hey, you know, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time. It was personal for you. And you gave all that you could to support our campaign. Because of your efforts, get this,
because of your efforts, I'm out here in Hawaii in a $7 million mansion.
Raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion.
So she just admitted it to people? Wait. Oh, God. So you just admitted it on film that you raised $1.4 billion and you can't pay people. Oh, my God. She just said it.
From grassroots supporters alone. The most in presidential campaign history. Nearly 8 million donors contributed an average donation of about $56 to fuel our people-powered campaign. And understand that the work that we did included the work that so many of you here did, which is to talk to first-time voters. Many of you are first-time voters. And to talk about how being involved can make a difference. And that remains true. And that's one of the pieces that I just want us to please take away, that our fight for freedom and for opportunity and for the promise of America, it included, for example, nearly almost 4 million first-time contributors to our campaign because of the work you did of helping people know that they can be engaged and that they're not outside, that they're inside, that we're all in this together. And that work continues. The work
continues for who? I'm not making this up. I wanted you to see this. And I know to a certain extent it's arduous. It's like, oh my God, it's nails on the chalkboard. But she's making this speech, and the only thing people who are watching it care about is, where's my money? Talking about a future fight? What fight?
Work must continue of reminding ourselves that we have an ability to stay engaged in a way that will make a difference. The work that you all did, it's going to have lasting effect. Again, I'll say, the election didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Certainly not as we planned for it to. But understand that the work we put into it was about empowering people. That's the spirit with the work we did. Our spirit and our work was about saying that it is a strength that we each have to lift people up as opposed to beating people down. It is a strength we have that has lasting effect. So all that work that you did that was about engaging with other people, engaging with perfect strangers and in their face seeing a neighbor, that has lasting effect. It reminds people that there are leaders like you who care and will bring us together. And sometimes in the darkest moments, people lose faith in that. Are there people out there that feel that way? And you reminded people that yes, there are. And there are a lot of us.
Wow. I mean, no words. Wow. She's still going on. And I just give it a couple minutes because it'll be over soon. But it's unbelievable. The bullet we dodged, literally, by Trump beating this woman. I mean,
And that strength cannot be taken from us. That is our strength. It cannot be taken from us. So listen, as I said the day after the election, I still strongly believe the light of America's promise will burn bright as long as we never give up and we keep fighting. And the fight that fueled our campaign, a fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the future, a future in which all people receive the promise of America? No. A fight that is about a fight for the ideals of our nation, the ideals that...
Can you guys believe this? Seriously. Can you believe what you're seeing here? Because nobody on X can believe it. Everyone's like, you got to be kidding me. And Democrats too. They're like, shut up. What are you doing?
Like the promise of America, that fight's not over. So look, we still have a lot to fight for, okay? A future where every American can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the right to make decisions about their own body, not their government telling them what to do. Our fight for the rule of law, for freedom for all, for equal justice, for the sacred principle that everyone, no matter where they start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be upheld.
She's still talking about communism. After getting routed, she's still talking about it.
That's not over. That fight's still in us, and it burns strong.
She's drunk. Oh, did you see that? Excuse me. She looked like Foster Brooks.
And I know this is an uncertain time.
Oh, look at... whoa. Somebody convinced her that this was a good idea. She's running out of gas here. She's burping.
I'm clear-eyed about that.
Oh, you ain't clear-eyed about anything.
About it. And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Somebody said in the comments, she's making Republicans the more she speaks. People are like, run. Oh my God, is this the party? This is the person they're saying is the lead candidate for 2028? Please. Please. Oh my goodness.
Look, this mission that we have, it takes hard work. But as you've heard me say many times, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And in doing our work, we will remain committed and intentional about building community, building coalitions, reminding people that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. We will be armed with the faith and the fuel that tells us what is possible and then drives us to achieve it. So let's continue to organize and mobilize and stay engaged. And I thank you all. I thank you all. We are all in this together.
Where's my money?
We are all in this together. And on this practical eve of Thanksgiving, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving with the ability and to find the ability at this moment.
She almost did a Foster Brooks again.
To just remember there is so much to be thankful for. And so I wish for you that you are surrounded by the people you love and who love you. As you know, I encourage you to be around family in whatever way you compose that family, but to take a moment and just reflect on all the good you have done and all the good you have yet to do. We are powerful, those of us who love our country, and we got a lot of work to do.
I would have cut it and not shown it, but I figured if I had to see it, you had to see it. Because you're going to hear about this in the news all day tomorrow. And you're going to see people on the left ready to jump out windows. You're going to see people going, what made her post that? What made her actually put something so stupid out? I mean, she just made everyone who voted for Trump go, whew, man, did we dodge a bullet? Literally and figuratively. While she's talking about hard work, and we don't have to spend much time, I just wanted you to see it because I had to see it. And I present these things to you for you to make your own decisions. I think she was drunk as skunk. Drunk as a skunk. But while she's talking about hard work, there's actually somebody out there who's doing hard work. And his name is Donald Trump. What are people texting me here about this? Hold on. I'm going to show you what Donald Trump has been doing here. Yes, I know I'm getting there. I just wanted to play her. So, as I was saying, this man has actually been doing work. Donald Trump has made 4 or 5 nominations at this point. This one was 31 minutes ago, while he was probably watching her video. I am proud to announce that Vince Haley, who served as Director of Policy and Speechwriting on my winning campaign, will lead my domestic policy agenda as Director of Domestic Policy Council. Vince is very well educated and has a brilliant mind for policies that work for the American people. He holds a bachelor's degree from William & Mary, and a law degree and a master's degree from University of Virginia, and a master's in European law from the College of Europe. Smart dude. Vince helped lead the speechwriting department in my first administration, working to convey our message to the public. Prior to joining my 2016 campaign, he worked for 12 years in a variety of roles for Newt Gingrich, a man I truly respect. Very nice. That's number 1. He's not done. This one was 31 minutes ago as well. I am very pleased to nominate Jamieson Greer to serve as United States Trade Representative. Jamieson played a key role during my first term in imposing tariffs, so he's getting the people back together on China and others to combat unfair trade practices and replacing the failed NAFTA deal with USMCA, therefore making it much better for American workers. His efforts under the former USTR, which is Trade Representative, Bob Lighthizer, a spectacular leader and person, helped spur the return of manufacturing jobs to America and reverse decades of disastrous trade policies. Jameson will focus the Office of U.S. Trade Representative on reining in the country's massive trade deficit. So I'm not sure. He was also a U.S. Air veteran. I'm not sure if these are positions that need to be confirmed. I'll have to check that tomorrow. Next we have, this one was 32 minutes ago. I am very pleased to announce that Dr. Kevin A. Hassett of Massachusetts will serve as the director of the White House National Economic Council. As my chair of the Council Economic Advisors, Kevin played a crucial role in helping to design and pass the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts of 2017 and stood with me as we pursued our enormously successful agenda to make America great again. One of the things I like what he's doing, he's bringing a lot of these guys that were successful in his previous presidency, he's bringing them right back. Love it. Next we have John Phelan, and it is my great honor to announce John Phelan as our next United States Secretary of the Navy. John will be a tremendous force for our naval service members and a steadfast leader in advancing my America First vision. He will put the business of the U.S. Navy above all else. Hopefully he'll get the Transformers out the Navy. John has excelled in every endeavor from founding and leading Rugger Management to co-founding MSD Capital Limited, the private investment firm for Michael Dell's CEO of Dell Technologies. His record of success speaks for itself, a true champion of American enterprise and ingenuity. John holds an MBA from the Harvard Business School. Another smart, obviously qualified guy. Let's see what's the next one here. Next one, so you're going to make me pronounce this name, huh? Okay. I am thrilled to nominate Jay Bhattacharya, doctor, to serve as director of the National Institute of Health, NIH. Dr. Bhattacharya will work in cooperation with RFK Jr. to direct the nation's medical research and to make important discoveries that will improve health and save lives. Jay is a professor of health policy at Stanford, a research associate at the National Bureau of Economics Research, and a senior fellow. I got to find out how I can be a fellow. I want to be a fellow. A senior fellow by courtesy at the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research, Stanford Freeman Spogli Institute, and the Hoover Institution. He directs Stanford Center for Demography and Economics of Health and Aging. His research focuses on the health and well-being of vulnerable populations. Jay is a co-author of the Great Barrington Declaration, an alternative to lockdowns proposed in October 2020. Together, Jay and RFK Jr. will restore the NIH to the gold standard of medical research, and he will make America healthy again. And one more. I'm very pleased to nominate Jim O'Neill to serve as Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services to work alongside RFK Jr. So they're putting a good team, which obviously RFK Jr. has had his hand on in terms of I need this guy, I need that guy, let's put them all together. He will oversee all operations and improve management, transparency, and accountability to make America healthy again. Jim previously served as the Principal Associate Deputy Secretary of HHS, so he's got some governmental experience. He led reforms at the FDA to overhaul food safety regulations and implemented the FDA Amendments Act, which improved drug and medical safety and ensured greater protection for public health. So he's bringing in some somewhat heavy hitters as he fills out RFK Jr.'s team, and that is it right now. So he dropped 4 or 5 different nominations right there in a row. Still hoping, I bet you the FBI director comes Wednesday night. I would almost bet he's going to wait until everybody leaves Washington, all the news people, they're off for the 3 or 4 days, and then probably come Wednesday night he can drop the FBI director. So somebody said, "Come on, I can't even post that." Good for RFK and Dr. B. Yeah, so they're putting a good team of people in the health realm for RFK Jr. Yeah, I want to see Kash Patel for our FBI as well. That would be awesome. Barry, I'm going to have nightmares after you forcing me to listen to this. It was as bad. It was as bad for me as it was for you, man. I need to share the pain. I need to share the pain. Somebody goes, I believe that, Barry, as well, that they'll go ahead and dump that on Wednesday night when nobody's around. Awesome show, Barry. We are so grateful for all you do. Thank you very much. And as soon as I saw that, and everything that went along with it, I'm like, someone's going to jail. Not someone. A whole lot of people are going to jail. You can't overlook that. That is going to be Pam Bondi's big splash when she starts digging into that campaign. And yeah, they're going to complain. They're going to really complain, and they're going to say stuff like, you're just going after your what do you call it, opponents. No, we're following the money. See, that's the problem, is that they think just because you're an opponent, you shouldn't be tried for anything. There should be no problem. We should be able to get away with everything that we do, which is a bunch of crap. I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't have patience for that stuff. If you did the crime, you're going to have to do the time. That's just how it is. All right, so let's go ahead and give away some hoodies right quick. But before I give away the hoodies, let me just do this. To get on the list to possibly win a hoodie, on the nighttime show, I like to give away 3 hoodies. Just go there, fanfareshop.org, and register to win. If your name has already been submitted, you do not have to enter again. Just go there. And if you'd like to join us over on X, go here to fanfareshop.org/group and join 11,000 plus fellow patriots over in our private free X group. And I just want to tell you, I had no idea that thing would grow to that size. It has become its own entity, sub-entity inside of X, and people are posting and they're communicating and they're doing all kinds of different things. It's taken on a life of its own, and if you want to join, it is absolutely free. It will always be free, and we'd love to have you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give away some hoodies right quick here. Let me go ahead and put this over on the screen. And let's go with Tommy Lawrence's drum roll. Let's go. And Lacey Pettit. Lacey Pettit is the first winner. Lacey Pettit, Ashley will get a hold of you for your size and address so that we can get that over to you as soon as her new shipment comes in. And let me go ahead and do number 2. Let's do the second one. I need the drum roll again, please. Louis Cordiero. Louis Cordiero. You get a hoodie. Everybody gets a hoodie. And one more, and we should be ready to go with the hoodies. Donna Kroom. Donna Kroom is the third winner. All right, thank you and congratulations to all of you who won the hoodies. Thank you for entering and everything else. So let me do the super chats. I got a notification from Ashley that I missed somebody. I sometimes miss them. And she said, where is that? Belinda Block. Belinda Block. This was after the afternoon show and said I missed the super chat. Let me just thank you, Belinda. Sorry I missed that. All right, so Kelly Panetsky. Where'd that go? Oh, thanks, Barry, for these podcasts. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. Cassandra Paquin, Fine Arts Peanut, Peaceful Haven Studio. Oh, my word, this mess just keeps getting bigger and crazier. If the media shows that they're basically abandoning her, they're in big trouble. They are in big trouble. Everyone's gonna look for their chair before the music stops. Ryzen Phoenix. Thank you, Barry, for all your great work you're doing. Thank you very much. K-Dog. K-Dog says, Biden had to vote for Trump. He wants a divorce. Carrie Lemoine. Joe pardoned the turkey. Kamala drank the turkey. Wild turkey, for sure. She looks like she had a bunch of wild turkey. Callie Moore. Go Kamala, you do you, girl. Mama Tracy, thank you very much. Let's see here. Cajun Scully. Someone sold Democrats a Ocean's 11 policy. Something ain't going good. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, at this point, the people better be looking for their parachutes. You can't take that kind of money from people and think it's okay. You just can't do it. Just another knucklehead. I am touched in Kamala's earnest joy. Now where's my money, biatch? Oh, God, it's too funny. What did she do with that money? And then to rub it in their faces. Oh, do you know we raised $1.4 billion? Yeah, I know, because you owe me money. You're over there in Hawaii someplace. Seek and find, and she has unburdened her staff of the cash she was supposed to put in their wallets. I mean, that's kind of scummy. You're telling me you couldn't just stroke a check for $25,000? They got to go on GoFundMe and beg for money. What kind of person does that? How could you not just take care of these people? It's just unbelievable. Let me go here. This is next person. Let me go down here. Yeah, she bragged about raising all that money, and then boom, doesn't even pay people. Looking here, making sure. Jennifer O, a pro-Trump YouTuber raised $25,000 in 24 hours to help pay for his dog surgery and vet bills. If you're a good person, people will help. You should have seen what we did here for North Carolina. It was awesome. And she can't get, it's really bad. Hot rods and 4x4s. Just finished the daily brief. It's been a busy day, just starting the evening brief. Thank you very much for tuning in here. Let me go to this page. Hi, John. John Parr. It serves those libs right. 1.5 billion in money taken from those lib donors. There's a reason why some of these people are flying a coop at this point. CR, the Dems are low-down dirt rat cheaters and liars. I love what somebody said. Tim Norfolk said Trump should just go ahead and stroke the check for 25 grand and just they'll all become Republicans. Yeah, but then they'd probably put him in jail. Oh my God, it's like election interference. From leaders, they made money defrauding donors while 325,000 kids can't be found. So true. Tommy Radcliffe, it was a grift. Kamala Walls campaign was pure evil. Yeah, I'm really starting to feel that. I think they rip people off something awful. Something awful. 1.5 billion. I can't even comprehend that they spent that much money. Somebody asked me, Barry, wait, is that the case of 130,000 that Trump was fined over 400 million? No, that's the other one that they're saying that he undervalued Mar-a-Lago. I mean, it's just ridiculous what they charged him with. Amazing, Kamala got beat so bad I wouldn't be showing my face in Hawaii. Really, all those people who got burned out. Soros is going to want his money back, Sandra Thompson says. Yeah, I mean, you don't mess with people who got that kind of money. I wouldn't. I don't want to mess with nobody, but damn, that's a lot of money. Texas 750 Cruiser, Fanfare is my new Yellowstone series, and we have at least 4 seasons. Oh, I like that show, by the way. It's pretty good. But like I said, I'm waiting for Rob, and we're going to have dinner and watch Lioness tonight. If you haven't seen that show, if you like, like I said, SWATs and SEAL Team 6 kind of stuff, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Meatball's buddy Barry Kamala knows she can tax the American people the equivalent of $1.5 million and squirrel it away in a personal government account. That's probably what she was hoping for. That's probably exactly what she was hoping for. D. Shaw, thank you very much. Your show is very captivating, so informative. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Where am I here? Did I go through here yet? Sometimes there's so many comments I try to find my way through so I don't go double. Okay, here we go. And here we go. Just another knucklehead again. FYI, I don't get ads. Premium YouTube pays off the long run. Sorry about the money hit to you, Barry. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It is what you got to do. Yeah, somebody just broke it down. That's $20 million per day for 75 days. Wow. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of scratch. I mean, wow. And that $10 million to Beyonce, whatever it is, we're going to find out. We're going to see people actually talk about what these numbers are. Diamond G? Yeah. We the people were about to pay off that debt. If she had won, that's exactly what was going to happen. We were going to end up paying it off. Randy Duenas, can you give away avocados and mangoes instead of? Yeah, they might be worth more in a couple of weeks, won't they? Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, I could probably do that, but I don't know if avocados would ship well enough though. How much did Obama and Big Mike make? Good question. And Charlie 6917, hello from Spokane, Washington. Hey Charlie, how are you doing? And then just another knucklehead again. Thank you so much, man. You're being so generous. Just for how you open the show. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you. But it just watch what happens, man. It's going to be epic. Let's see. Let me go back here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think, okay, Kelly was the first one. I remember that. All right, so Jeff26 says, thank you, Barry, for doing what you do. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. Alex Trejo, give Kamala a hoodie for entertaining us. Pamela Couch, I want my money. Imagine sitting in the audience watching that, and you realize you owe me like 2 weeks of pay. I'm about to get kicked out. It's Halloween. I mean, not Halloween, Thanksgiving. And you're up here telling me, fight, fight, fight. I want to fight you. I watched Rumble interview. Awesome. Loved it. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing that. Sandra G. JG Thompson. Now we know why she drinks. Yeah, I would drink too. If I took 1.5 billion from people. All these, Tanea says all their billions couldn't match the hand of God. Thank God for that. And Patras, Barry, your facial expressions. They're authentic. I just can't believe somebody would do some of the stuff that she does and taking that kind of money. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in to the night show. And if you were here for the day show, thank you again. Congratulations to the winners who won hoodies. And then we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.